so if you can talk to me.
Yeah.
Can you just introduce yourself, so if you say your name, position and the club?
Yeah, Darren Allinson, scrum half, London Irish.
Awesome. Why did you decide to play scrum half? How did it all come about?
Well, it's hard to believe, but I actually started off playing hooker back when I was 6, 7 years of age, but that was just through my local club, Tumble RFC, and obviously I like to run around with the ball, and they quickly enough moved me back to number 9, and I've played there ever since, and thoroughly enjoy it.
As scrum half, what is your job at the set pieces, sort of the line out and the scrum?
So my role is from set pieces to organise what line out we're going to go into, whether it's a 7-man or a 5-man. We'll be discussing that with the 10, and obviously if we're going to go drive with the line out or off the top ball, and my main priority is to get the service out to the 10, which is he's got to move ready and hopefully something to break the defence.
Awesome. So during open play then, what is your job as a number 9?
Open, there's a lot of running involved. So literally just the kind of the link with the forwards and the backs, and it's quite a key role within the team. As I said, there's a lot of running and there's a lot of decisions. You've got to play heads up rugby and try and make decision in as quickly as possible, and you have to have a good distribution game, and if the 10's not getting it, they're happy to let you know how poor your passing is, but hopefully that doesn't happen too often.
Okay, so building that, what would you say the key attributes are? You need to say someone, to play a good 9, you need them certain...
You've got to have good basic skills. You have to have a good kick, good pass, good communicator, because you're doing a lot of talking with the 9s and with the 10s and the forwards, and also your defence role as well is a big. Growing up when you're young and you're playing 9, defence isn't too much of an issue as a scrum half, but the older you get and the higher up you play your rugby, and defence becomes a big part of it.
So what's your training regime like then as a scrum half? Does it differ to other players since, as you say, it's a lot more running based?
Yeah, we do. Obviously, and you've got in pre-season where the conditioners like to take the boys who do a lot of running. So you've got your 9s, you've got your 7s. We'll do a little top up on top of what everyone else does, and that's key because we generally do the most running within the game, and to have your fitness at your peak, putting in those extra meters helps a lot.
Okay, so how does your diet build around this then? Is there anything you told you just can't have any of? I'd assume beer and curries.
Yeah, well, surprisingly, when I was young, we had at Cardiff Blues we had a Canadian conditioning coach, Dan Barr, clean off character, and he just said I was too small and too light, so he just said, look, just eat what you want, whether it's McDonald's, curry, get a few Guinnesses. If you don't like it, just drink it. I didn't take his advice, but yeah, a good diet obviously helps. The less body fat you carry and the fitter you are helps a lot on game day.
How many calories would you say then you eat a day?
Personally, I eat 3,400 a day.
How many meals is that split up into then?
4 or 5 meals.
Okay, awesome. Our next question, do you have any exercises that help prevent injuries, especially sort of the areas that rugby players are seen to get injured, such as sort of your knees, shoulders, your neck or your ankle?
Touch wood, I haven't had too many injuries, but the main injury I've had is a groin injury. I've had a couple of operations on them, and they've been good as gold since. But a thing that helps me a lot is doing a lot of stretching on it, and the physios are great with the prehab and stuff. So a lot of prehab on my groin, and I've had no problems with this since.
Awesome. What's it like for you at scrum time? Is there a unit feel, or is it sort of detached since you're not actually part of the scrum, sort of, the tight 5 or even the 8 of them?
It's exciting because obviously my main job is to obviously get the ball out to the 10 as quickly as possible. But obviously at the same time I want the forwards to do really well and give me a solid set piece. So I'm in between. I have to kind of big up the forwards, try and get the head switched on before they hit the scrum, and obviously get service to the 10.
Speaking of the new scrum, do you like the new scrum roles? Do you think they work? Do you prefer them to the
old? Yeah, to be fair, I think it's helped a lot, and we're having a lot more clean ball now as a backline, a lot more attacking opportunities, and I think the laws have helped that, and it's a positive impact on the game.
Okay. Do you think as a scrum half you're sort of targeted more because you're generally not one of the bigger people on the team? You know, traditionally scrum halves have been quite small.
Well, I don't know if Mike Phillips will be happy with that, but we don't. Teams will try and target you at set piece, maybe if you're standing out. But to be fair, I don't know many nines who are not scared of getting stuck into tackles. We're usually quite feisty ones, and I'm pretty sure not many teams target nines.
Oh, fair enough. That was leading to my next question. I was just going to ask, how much do you rely on the forwards for protection, sort of at rucks when you're trying to get the ball out, when you're that little bit more exposed?
Forwards help a lot on ruck time if it's our ball, and the more protection they give me, then easier it is for me to get the ball out to the backs. And but as I say, the physicality of the game, the nines are just as physical as anyone else, but with just a bit more aggression.
Awesome. How do you mentally prepare yourself for a match? Say you're in the changing room just before you go out.
Personally, personally, I'm not the type to rev up myself or start shouting at people or anything. I'm just quite calm, just relax. I'll just sit on my seat, think about my role and what players we're going into the game with. As long as I'm clear with all those calls and I'm happy going on the field.
And last question: who do you think is the best number 9 in the world, and what do you think makes them so good at what they do?
Best number 9 in the world. I think.
One right answer.
I think at the moment it's the New Zealand scrum half Smith. To be fair, he's probably the smallest one out there, but he plays with a high tempo. He's a physical guy for his size, and his skills are quality.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
No problem at all.